Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In our march through history, we cross the Atlantic and travel nearly 2,000 years back to the 1st century AD during the apostolic age of the Christian Church. In the year 60 AD, the Apostle Paul, the second most influential figure in Christianity after Jesus Christ, was shipwrecked on the Mediterranean Sea on the remote island of Malta. Paul had once been a Jewish Pharisee and a murderer of Christians before his dramatic conversion on the road to Damascus, several years after the resurrection of Jesus. After many years of evangelism and several imprisonments, Paul was once again arrested for his faithful and continuous preaching of the gospel in the Roman Empire. Now, according to Acts 27, Paul was imprisoned aboard a ship headed for Rome. On board with Paul were his prison guard, a centurion named Julius, as well as his companion and fellow prisoner Luke. After making several stops along several eastern Mediterranean port cities, the ship was caught in a storm and ran aground just off the coast of Malta, about 60 miles south of Sicily. Miraculously, the crew survived. Almost immediately after their arrival to shore, Paul survived another danger when he was bit by a venomous viper, but suffered no harm. Many would have called it a day and taken a rest, but not Paul. The book of Acts tells us he immediately visited one of the locals who was very ill, laid hands on him, and healed him of his sickness by the power of Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul eventually made it to Rome, where he continued to share the good news 2 years before his release in 62 AD. During this first imprisonment in Rome, he would write 4 New Testament epistles: Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, and Philemon. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.